Well, Darryl, first of all, again, congratulations. And I know, we've talked recently about how much better you're doing since the health scare. When you go through something like that, how much more does a day like this mean?
It means a great deal. A day like this, after you have experienced something like that, life shows up and it's real, and it's going to show up for all of us. We just don't know the day and the time. And 3 months ago, it showed up for me for a massive heart attack, and I almost lost my life. I thank the Lord that I'm standing here today and, being able to accept this day for what it really is. It's such a great honor to be able to achieve so much. Going through this organization, growing up here, I'm a homegrown player. I love this organization. I love the fans, and I'm just glad that the relationship is back together.
I'm sure from the time you get the call from Steve to now, you go through many different emotions, and there are certain days where I'm sure it probably just hits you. Right now, in this moment, half an hour away from going out there making that speech, how would you describe what's going through your mind, your body? How are you feeling?
I'm full of joy.
Yeah.
It's a joyful day, for my family, my friends, my wife. Just enjoy the moment. Soak it all in, man. Take it in and experience it in such a way to say thank you. Because you get one shot in this life and you get one chance to achieve some great things. And I was able to do that with this organization and the players that I played with. Because the players are important, and the teams that I played on are the reason why I'm standing here today. Because I'm not just a great player by myself. You're a great player because of the guys that you play with. You just play a big part of it, and you stand out a little bit more because of your talent and everything. But that doesn't make me any different than the players. And that's why I want them to be here and be a part of this, and so we all can enjoy this together, because the memories are real from what we experienced together.
You've talked a lot about how one of those players, Keith Hernandez, made a huge impact on your career. I'm sure there were a lot of different things that he taught you, but what, in your mind, was the most important contribution that he made to turning you into the player that you ultimately became?
His leadership. Keith was a very intense player. I've never played with anybody like that. I never played with somebody that had such great wisdom and knowledge and experience. How to lead young players. And I think he learned that from being in the Cardinals organization, of players helping him. And then he brought it over here to the Mets organization, and he helped me. He helped a lot of players. But I think when you recognize the kind of teammate he was, you appreciate that more than anything. And at the end of your career, when it's all over and said and done, and you look back and you're just like, wow, I got to play with a great player.
Darryl, very few in sports have probably dealt with the type of pressure you did at such a young age. You were a senior in high school. Sports Illustrated compared you to Ted Williams. And then you come to New York, first overall draft pick in 1980, and really are thought of as the savior in the city's eyes. How were you able to handle that pressure and still perform at the level that you did?
I think it's the fans. When you come from a place like I come from in Southern California, you understand sports and you understand expectations. And the expectations were high. But I think it's the fans here, the knowledge that the fans have here in the sport of what they like and the baseball team. They pushed me into my destiny. And that's what I'm truly grateful for. If I didn't have that push, I would have never been able to perform like that at the highest level, because they made me play. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I think a lot of players say, I want to play in New York, and I always tell them, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. because you don't know what you're walking into when you say that. And I knew what I was walking into every day once after my rookie season, because Jim Fry had helped me prepare myself for that. And I was able to spring forward and do some great things and have some great seasons the next 7 years with this organization.
I've heard you talk a lot about the fact that it's one thing to put up good numbers, but it's another thing to do it when it matters. And that 86 team was a bunch of gamers. You were a gamer. What is the difference in your experience between the guys that struggle when the moment gets bigger and the group that you had and the player that you were when the lights were brighter?
I think you just cannot change yourself from the player that you are. You got to remember who you are. I used to win ball games on the on-deck circle, not when I got in the batter's box, because I always told myself, be prepared and know what to do in the situation. It's still baseball. It's still the same game. Don't overanalyze it. Don't exaggerate about it. Just keep it simple and you have the talent to do it. And if you could think like that and have that kind of composure when you're playing, you're going to be productive in those situations because it's the same thing you've been doing your whole life since you've been playing.
You had 3 home runs in that '86 postseason. You had the one in Game 7, obviously, the clincher. Is one of them, or does one of them stand out above the other two, though?
Yeah, that one off of Nolan Ryan stands off because Nolan was dealing that game. He was going to be hard to beat. There's no question about it, and we knew that. But we had to beat him. We had to stay tough, and we had to not give up inside of ourselves. And I think that's what made that game so good. And being able to tie that game up and we go on and win that game, that was big for us.
Finally, Darryl, what is the message that you hope to get across to the fan base when you go out there, again, in about 25 minutes or so and make your speech?
I just want to get closer with the fans and tell them how much I love them and I appreciate them. And I'm so sorry for ever leaving. That was the biggest mistake I ever made, was leaving them. Because I just had so many great memories of them standing on their feet when I hit big home runs and giving me a curtain call. And I've never experienced that anywhere else. I've only experienced that here.
Well, enjoy another curtain call in short amount of time. Darryl, so great to see you healthy and so great to see you here. Enjoy the day. Congratulations again.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Steve.